Hi, I'm Dodge County Sheriff Dale Schmidt, and this month what we'd like to talk about a little bit is the accreditation process which the Sheriff's Office is going through, which I've highlighted in our 2022 annual performance objectives, which you can find on our website, dodgecountysheriff.com. What is accreditation? Really, it's making sure that our agency is going through the best practices, or making sure that we are conducting ourselves utilizing the best practices that have been established for law enforcement agencies across our country. Over the last 7 years in my tenure as sheriff, I've been working very hard to get to the point of trying to go for accreditation, but we had a lot of work to do. Some of that work detailed changing our policies and procedures from a PDF or a computerized program that we had to maintain and really wasn't user friendly, to a system called Lexipol, which is a computer program. It's a web-based program which all our policies are on, that we're able to have reviewed by attorneys at Lexipol to make sure we're following the most current laws that are applicable both federally and statewide. That was important, and an important first step that we took in my first year as sheriff, so that we could get that transition from the old PDFs to this system. We are almost complete with that process. As you can imagine, the Sheriff's Office has a lot of policies. We started with our patrol and our communications divisions, our detective divisions, working on those policies. And then once we completed that, we started phase 2 about 3 or 4 years ago in moving over to the corrections policies in Lexipol, and we are almost complete. It's been a very long and daunting task, but we're almost done. Also, we needed a culture of accountability. We needed a culture that was beneficial to the citizens. We needed great teamwork, and we are at that point now here at the Sheriff's Office. I'm very proud of the employees, of the work that they do, of the team type approach that we have, the ability to work together like I've never seen before. We have quite a team here at the Sheriff's Office right now. And now is the perfect time to move forward with becoming accredited by what's called WILIAG. And WILIAG is the Wisconsin version of the accreditation group that we are utilizing. And our administrative staff are going through a large stack of accreditation standards that we need to meet to become an accredited agency. Normally it takes us about 3 years, or takes an agency about 3 years to become accredited. We have a very aggressive time frame to do that in just about 1.5 years. And how are we going to do that in such a short time? Well, we were able to obtain a $75,000 grant from the federal government to help pay for the costs associated with becoming accredited. It was kind of a neat little story of, I received an email one day after telling my staff we were going to go for accreditation. It was perfect timing, and they said, you need to have this application put in and finished within a week. So I went to my staff, and they were excited. Insert sarcasm here. It was a stressful week for especially my captain of operations, Chad Enright, and our communications lieutenant, Chris Churchill, who had only a week to put together a very good application for this grant. They got it. They did phenomenal work putting this together, and we received that $75,000 grant. So now our team can work in addition to their normal duties, working overtime to get this done, and it's paid by the federal grant. What a great opportunity for us. As we look over the last couple of years what's happened across our country, we've seen so many different people, pundits out there saying there needs to be improvement in law enforcement or law enforcement reform. Well, I don't believe that's true, but we do have to follow best practices. And some of the things that we've been able to see nationwide have been the law enforcement officer has done exactly as they have been trained. I've also seen some things nationwide where some law enforcement agencies probably could have done a little bit better, whether that be in their training or their procedures or whatever. And we want to be accredited, meaning we are going to be following best practices. Now, does that mean we're going to be perfect every time? No one is. Everyone is human. But we're going to do our best to put procedures and practices into place that limit mistakes or have the best potential for success. And that's our goal through accreditation. And I want to go through a couple of the benefits here of accreditation that we've listed in our performance objectives for our staff this year. And really there are about 7 of them. The first one is promoting excellence and professionalism within law enforcement through voluntary compliance with recognized best practices. That's what I'm talking about. Making sure we're doing things the right way when we're out in the street so we don't make national news, so that we do make the best decisions possible for the citizens that we serve. Number two, providing an enhanced sense of professionalism and pride for the agency and agency personnel. Well, we're already getting there. We already have professionalism and pride within our agency, but this is only going to enhance that. Number three, providing confidence that your agency is functional or is in a functional compliance through an independent review of evaluation of agency operations. What that means is we are going to have independent auditors from other law enforcement agencies who have been accredited come in and evaluate our procedures, evaluate our practices, evaluate our policies. And if we meet those standards, then we'll be accredited. If we don't, we won't be. So we have to make sure we do this right the first time, and we'll probably have a mock audit before this is all complete to make sure that we can pass when we actually have the actual auditors come in to check out our standards. The next one, security in the knowledge that our agency is well managed. And that security really isn't my security. It's security for you, security of you and the public, knowing that your law enforcement, that your sheriff's office here in Dodge County is well managed. That's our goal, always to manage not only our staff well, but how we do our operations well. Confidence that operations and personnel are consistent and well directed. Consistency is important. Not only is it important within our organization for our staff, our supervisors to be consistent and give the same message to their employees, but when our staff are out there serving the public, we need to be consistent in how we apply the law in any given circumstance. Certainly there are going to be different circumstances in every incident we respond to, but we should, across the agency, be typically similar in the response to any type of an incident that we're going to. Next is policies and procedures following best practices that can help reduce liability and may increase savings on insurance costs. Of course, we want to reduce our liability. Law enforcement, by its very nature, is going to end up in situations where there could be liability. It can happen just on a simple traffic stop, to an investigation into a homicide. So many different things in the jail, all kinds of liability concerns could come up, and we want to mitigate that. It's called the risk management, and this is going to help us to manage that risk, and hopefully our insurance companies see that, and it can reduce the tax levy because our insurance rates may go down as a result. Networking and collaboration with professional agencies and organizations, that's always important. And then the potential for monetary incentives from our municipal insurance carrier. They certainly could not only give us reduced rates on our premiums, but the policy program. And they're already helping with Lexipol to pay for half of that. But there are other monetary incentives that our insurance companies may bring forward to the sheriff's office. So our plan is in the next year and a half to work very hard to go through this accreditation process, to be able to accomplish it, to become accredited, and to make our citizens proud that the law enforcement agency that is serving them is following best practices and doing what's required and really becoming a premier agency serving you, the citizens of Dodge County. I'm excited for it. I know that our admin team is very excited to get through all of this and be completed with it. And I think you, as citizens of Dodge County, should be excited as well, because as I'm aware, there are only 3 sheriff's offices in the state that are accredited: Waukesha, Walworth, and Winnebago. I may have missed one, and if I have, I apologize, but I hope to be the 4th in about a year to a year and a half time frame. And that's something that we all can be proud of.
Did you discuss with other sheriff's officers in Wisconsin that are accredited before you jumped into this?
I've actually had conversations with all 3 of the sheriffs in those other sheriff's offices. Sheriff Motz in Winnebago, Sheriff Severson in Waukesha, and Sheriff Picknell in Walworth. I've had great conversations with them. Sheriff Motz in Winnebago told me it's the best thing that he's ever done for his agency. He has seen such great benefit. Sheriff Severson and Sheriff Picknell, exactly the same type of sentiment. They're so thankful that they were able to go through, obtain that accreditation process, and they've seen benefits within their agency, which does nothing but positive for their communities.
Okay, anything else?
That should do it for this month.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.